Travel 500 kilometers north of Beijing, China's capital, and you'll enter a realm of vibrant colors. Here, the forces of ice and fire have sculpted unique geological wonders. Countless creatures have forged homes bound by life and death. This vast land of mountains, grasslands, lakes, and sandy land challenges life with extremes: drought and moisture, abundance and scarcity, harshness and gentleness. Adaptation is the key to survival. This is Hexington, where life endures in an ever-changing world. Under the warm summer sun, the vast expanse of Dalinor Lake enters its high water season. All the birds breeding in Hexington must make the most of this time, not only to care for their young, but also to accomplish an important task. From birth to maturity, birds undergo several molts. Even as adults, they must periodically replace their feathers. During molting, they temporarily lose their ability to fly, entering a vulnerable period. To escape this danger, waterfowl, adept at surviving in water, retreat to the depths of Dalinor Lake. Through aerial footage, we spot traces of swan geese. Shed feathers cover the water's surface as large flocks of swan geese begin to gather. In this vast lake, each species of waterfowl has a designated molting area. Here, they are safe from land predators. And even if enemies approach from the sky, they have ways to vanish instantly. It's hard to imagine how the swan geese would survive this challenging time without the protection of Dalinor Lake. Birds living in the grasslands and sandy areas do everything they can, using various methods to hide. The great bustard, standing nearly a meter tall, relies on the tall grasses to conceal itself. In the wetlands, the reeds provide the perfect cover for the white-naped crane, with the male cautiously surveying the surroundings. Dalinor Lake was born from the forces of volcanoes and glaciers. Climate changes and receding waters transformed it from an outflowing lake into an inland one. Fortunately, unlike other lakes in arid regions, it has not completely dried up. Over the past 10,000 years, fish, birds, and humans have arrived here, each facing survival challenges, while benefiting from the lake's generosity. Dalinor Lake supports a thriving ecosystem, yet it faces a serious threat. With increasing population, agricultural expansion, and scarce rainfall, can Dalinor Lake avoid drying up? Will the natural kingdom of Hexington be preserved for future generations? By the end of August, the sky reveals the presence of demoiselle cranes. These cranes are the first to arrive because their migration journey is the longest. The demoiselle cranes circle in the sky, waiting for humans to clear their fields. After finishing their work, the farmers finally head home, and the cranes take over the land. Among the crane family, the demoiselle crane is the smallest, with white feathers on its cheeks fluttering in the wind, giving it a delicate and elegant appearance. This feature has earned it the beautiful name, Lady Crane. But contrary to what the name suggests, this seemingly fragile bird has a truly legendary background. In summer, the demoiselle crane lives on the grasslands, but its wintering grounds are far away on the plains of India, south of the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau. Each year, they embark on a migration journey of 6,000 kilometers, crossing the Himalayan mountain range, which averages over 6,000 meters in elevation. Dalinor Lake may be nature's most generous gift to the demoiselle crane, offering not only ample water, but also an unexpected food source. To the northeast of Dalinor Lake, the most prominent landmark is Gasong Mountain. In the past, growing wheat here was unthinkable. However, in the past 20 years, warming temperatures and an extended frost-free period have allowed farmland, once confined to the southern regions of Hexington, to steadily extend northward, reaching the shores of Dalinor Lake. It's harvest season. After the farmers reap their crops, scattered wheat stalks and grains provide high-protein nourishment for the demoiselle cranes. The transformation of grassland into farmland is not only a result of climate change. Southern Hexington borders the Yinshan Mountains, marked by the 400-millimeter rainfall line. This divide dictates different modes of survival. North, a nomadic life following water and grass. South, an intensive farming kingdom. The setting sun casts a red glow over Ulaanbaatar Peak, evoking memories of a battle over 300 years ago. In 1690, Emperor Kangxi commanded the Qing army in a decisive battle against Galdan, the leader of the Mongolian Dzungars, at the foot of Ulaanbaatar Peak. Galdan was ultimately defeated and retreated to the northern deserts, allowing the Qing dynasty to gain control of the Mongolian plateau, and for the first time in Chinese history, unify the agrarian regions of East Asia with the nomadic lands under a single authority. On the flat grasslands, yellow wheat fields are interspersed with green pastures. This is the typical agropastoral ecotone. Developing agriculture in arid regions leads to soil degradation and accelerates desertification, while irrigating farmland depletes river water, leaving the grasslands even thirstier. It's a dilemma. But the presence of farmland is a welcome surprise for the migratory birds. The densely packed demoiselle cranes take over the wheat fields, consuming as much energy as possible before their migration. Each autumn, it's estimated that over 20,000 demoiselle cranes gather at Dalinor Lake, leaving the wheat field spotless. With their high metabolic efficiency, the cranes quickly convert the wheat they consume into high-quality fertilizer, giving back to the fields and promising a better harvest from this less than fertile land next year. In the winter pasture at the foot of the dashing inland mountains, the grass has grown all summer long, becoming the winter forage for the herds. As autumn approaches, Enhe's family must quickly stockpile hay for the winter. His father takes charge, and Enhe drives the tractor to handle the harvesting. The eldest son, Beo Integusi, operates the baler. Herders nowadays are also skilled drivers. The baler compresses the hay into tight, can-like bales, making them easy to transport and store. If the family has enough hay for their needs, any surplus can fetch a good price on the market. Along the wetlands of Dalinor Lake, white-naped cranes begin to gather. With their striking red and white plumage and graceful demeanor, the white-naped cranes are the most dazzling stars of the wetlands. Their thriving presence is proof that the wetlands surrounding Dalinor Lake are well preserved. Just a few months ago, the newly hatched chick The first large-scale gathering of birds appears on the mudflats of Dalinor Lake. These birds belong to the sandpiper family, the smallest and most numerous in Hexington. The tiny red-necked stints, with their small bodies and short legs, can only forage in shallow waters. But the flat mudflats here provide them with ample space to cover the water's surface. At dusk, after filling up on food in the wheat fields, the demoiselle cranes fly back to Dalinor Lake. The area around the northern river mouth, where the river meets the lake, serves as a five-star retreat for the birds. offering plentiful food, expansive water surfaces, and shallow depths of just 0.3 meters. This shallow water is ideal for the migratory birds to roost in safety and warmth through the night. In the pitch-black darkness, the chorus of birds' calls is continuous, almost impossible to detect without infrared cameras, as tens of thousands of birds float in the water. At dawn, before the sun rises, the northern river mouth becomes lively again, as the flocks take off in various formations, heading to different parts of Dalinor Lake in search of their preferred food. If we draw a circle, with Dalinor Lake at its center, we will find that within hundreds of thousands of square kilometers, Dalinor Lake is the only significant body of water. The surrounding wetlands, sandy areas, grasslands, and wheat fields provide a vast and rich habitat for migratory birds. According to ornithologists, over 230 species of migratory birds pass through here annually, replenishing their energy, learning and growing, and gaining the strength needed for their migration. In nature, the cycle of big fish eating small fish is perpetual. The wheat fields draw in demoiselle cranes, inevitably shadowed by their predators. The steppe eagle is the apex predator in the Gasson Mountain area, and with so many potential prey, it's not about to miss an opportunity. The steppe eagle, a master of stealth attacks, bides its time, waiting to strike any isolated demoiselle crane from the sky. However, the advantage of large bird gatherings is the many eyes they have. The eagle's unusual behavior is quickly spotted, and urgent warning calls are issued, a signal for an emergency takeoff. The cranes immediately take flight. The steppe eagle relies on its powerful wings to hunt, and few other birds can withstand its crushing blow. But the demoiselle cranes have their own strategy. Two flocks gradually merge to form a larger group. After flying a short distance, they land again, but only to regroup into an even bigger formation. Steppe eagle is now caught within the crane's aerial formation, where the balance of power shifts. Each crane flaps its wings with all its might, and at the fastest rate possible, creating weak updrafts. When thousands of cranes updrafts combine, they form a strong upward current. This powerful airflow prevents the eagle from diving to attack. Such is the strength of the collective. Dalinor Lake, with its vast waters, supports a massive avian ecosystem. But the lake faces a problem it cannot solve on its own. In summer, sunlight penetrates the water, fueling the rampant growth of aquatic plants through photosynthesis. By early September, the summer-grown aquatic plants cover the lake. If not dealt with promptly, the lake could become a swamp. Excessive aquatic plants spell disaster for the lake, but serve as a feast for birds. Benefiting from the lake's bounty, the birds are more than willing to help Dalinor Lake with its troubles. To film the migratory birds tackling the overgrown aquatic plants, we set up an aerial platform several meters high near the northern river mouth and developed a mobile filming vehicle that could get close to the lakeshore. Through our lenses, we finally captured clear footage of the birds feeding. The long neck of the swan goose is its most effective tool, not only for claiming territory, but also for reaching fresh food. The swan goose plunges its head deep into the mud, excavating the roots and rhizomes of the aquatic plants like a digger. The uprooted plants are carried away by the waves and eventually decay. In this way, the swan geese repay the lake for its generosity. As autumn winds blow, the grasslands transform from green to golden. His family, having spent over 4 months in their summer pastures, now faces a difficult decision. Before spring, a nearby iron mine company offered a high price to lease their winter pasture for 30 years. Despite differing opinions between the elders and the young, the father, Botter, decided to return to the winter pasture at the foot of the Daxing-Anling Mountains, driven by both livelihood needs and a longing for tradition. The third son, Nhatu Burern, has set off early with the livestock. The cattle and sheep meant for sale are gone, leaving only the overwintering and breeding stock. With proper care, a new generation will be born on the grasslands next year. The last to depart is the tractor carrying the family's yurt. In the past, moving pastures would take days or even weeks, but now it only takes a few hours. The same road, the same people, the same grassland. Everything follows the natural rhythm, repeating in an endless cycle. Dalinor Lake, with its high saline alkaline environment, is barren, and only one type of plant can thrive on its salt flats: seepweeds. In early autumn, the branches and leaves of the seepweed turn red, transforming the lakeshore into a red carpet. From the vantage point of our elevated camera platform, we discovered that these seepweeds actually sustain a surprisingly large number of hungry diners. After their assault on the aquatic plants, the swan geese now enter the sea of seepweed en masse. Seepweed is incredibly nutritious. Its tender leaves contain protein levels comparable to soybeans, and its seeds have more than twice the fat content of soybeans. A few days later, thousands of ruddy shelducks join the feast. The white speckled feathers belong to the ducklings born this year. It's likely that those born in the rock caves of Jinzi Hill and the tree holes of Bainaobao are also mingling within this spectacular flock. From the air, the salt flats resemble a gigantic cafeteria, where tens of thousands of birds from various species feed together. Even the fish-eating black-headed gulls are indulging. The birds feasting actually benefits the seepweed as well, as their seeds are carried to more distant areas, allowing the seepweed to spread further across the mudflats. The birds' droppings also enrich the soil with organic matter. Pushed by strong winds, autumn's arrival hastens. The Dalinor Lake area is situated in a well-known wind corridor in northern China, where the wind turbines on the volcanic plateau spin at full speed, generating clean energy. Riding the strong northwest winds, the demoiselle crane families begin their final flight training. The bald-headed juveniles, born this year, are undergoing rigorous training, with the entire family involved. To prevent the young cranes from falling behind, the female crane leads at the front. The two juveniles follow closely, and the male crane brings up the rear. After 2 months of training, the young cranes will join their parents on a perilous 6,000-kilometer journey. The group practice begins with the lead male crane taking off. It's as if the entire flock hears a command, as they all rise into the air simultaneously. The demoiselle crane's ultimate challenge is the Himalayan mountain range. If they don't want to perish in the snow-capped peaks, they must possess incredible power, ascending almost vertically. This is a contest between the world's smallest cranes and the world's highest mountain range. In the vast blue sky, it's hard to distinguish between the adult and young cranes, but what's undeniable is that the addition of the young cranes makes the flock even stronger. Riding powerful updrafts, they continue to reach new heights, a testament to the power of life. The dashing inland mountains quietly change color as autumn approaches. The Asian white birch and Dahurian larch trees are the first to turn yellow. From the treetops, autumn's hues spread downward, eventually blanketing the entire forest in gold. The underbrush gradually wilts, while the Chinese crab-apple trees present their dazzling fruits. The black grouse, now less playful, focuses on accumulating fat. Fortunately, food is abundant, and as long as they're not too lazy, the cold winter ahead won't be so daunting. By late September, the demoiselle cranes have embarked on their southward journey. A few days later, the first snowfall arrives. Blanketing Jinsey Hill in white. The swans have returned for the second time this year. They passed through here more than 4 months ago. Migrating between their breeding grounds near the Arctic Circle and their southern wintering sites, Dalinor Lake is a crucial stopover on their journey. Now, most of the swans have their offspring with them, forming complete family units. Before flying south to their wintering grounds, they will spend a blissful period here. Back in the clear blue waters, they seem particularly excited. At this time of year, their skirmishes are mostly playful, as they no longer need to defend their territories as fiercely as during the breeding season. Over 4 months ago, the lake was still frozen, and as herbivores that feed on aquatic plants, they had to pass through quickly. But this time, they can feast to their heart's content. Thanks to the cameras on elevated platforms, we observe that the large swans are adept at digging up the roots of aquatic plants from the deep water. Not only do they have meter-long necks, but when needed, they can even tip their bodies upright to extend their necks to the lake bed, uprooting the plants entirely. A single swan can consume 4 to 5 kilograms of aquatic plants in a day, making them the true champions of weeding Dalinor Lake. Various wild ducks follow at a safe distance, hoping to catch any food that the swans leave behind. In waves, the birds work together to eliminate the aquatic plants, eventually restoring the lake's tranquility. After a hearty meal, the swans take time to preen and groom themselves. Naturally elegant, they never forget to maintain their appearance. The alkaline waters of Dalinor Lake are perfect for washing away the oils, dirt, and parasites from their feathers. The young gray swans remain vigilant, practicing their flying skills at every opportunity. Among all the waterfowl, swans are the largest. whether on water or land. They require a running start to successfully take flight. For these migratory birds, building stronger wings is essential to endure the challenges of long-distance travel. Each year, 40,000 to 50,000 swans flock to Dalinor Lake, turning the blue waters into a stunning masterpiece. Dalinor Lake has thus earned its reputation as the most beautiful swan lake in northern China. Surrounded by endless grasslands and rolling sand dunes, it's clear that without Dalinor Lake, the local birds would lose their breeding grounds, and the migratory birds traveling between north and south would inevitably lose their way in their weary journey. For a long time, despite being located in an arid region with an average annual rainfall of just over 300 millimeters, Dalinor Lake has remained a vibrant, water-filled sanctuary teeming with fish and birds. The reason it hasn't dried up lies in a unique water replenishment mechanism. For rivers surrounding Dalinor Lake provide surface water. But even more crucial is the fact that Dalinor is a volcanic lake with a deep basin, reaching a maximum depth of 13 meters, allowing it to capture and store significant amounts of groundwater. Along the southern shore of Dalinor Lake lies a natural water factory, the Hunchendak Sandy Land. Although rainfall in this sandy region is very limited, every drop is preserved. The sandy soil, composed of loose particles, allows rainwater to seep quickly into the ground, where it is stored, avoiding evaporation. The significant temperature difference between day and night also causes the sand grains to condense moisture, capturing tiny droplets of water from the air. These droplets, like rain and snowmelt, percolate down to the sand layer's base. In areas of lower elevation, groundwater filtered through the sandy layers emerges as springs. The sandy land not only nurtures the Zarmoran River, the upper reach of the Liao River, but also continually supplies fresh water to Dalinor Lake. It is this unseen source of water that has sustained Dalinor as a vast lake for thousands of years. At dawn, as the first light breaks and the mist drapes the landscape like a veil, the swans begin their day with graceful movements. Some are busy preening and grooming, while others are eating their breakfast. Under the guidance of their parents, the young swans are practicing their takeoffs with increasing skill. In this season of migration, the mature swans begin choosing their lifelong mates. The mutual understanding between pairs starts with body language. Whether they can stay together for life will take 2 or 3 years to determine. With so many swans gathered in one place, finding a mate is not difficult. The only challenge is finding a private space for courtship. Look, 2 pairs expressing their love collide head-on, leading to an unnecessary conflict. Most of the birds have embarked on their southward journey, leaving only the ruddy shelducks to keep the swans company. Having lived by Dalinor Lake for more than half a year, the shelducks persistently scour the remaining seepweeds. In the warm embrace of the lake, time seems to stand still. The first arriving ruddy shelducks and the last appearing swans have forgotten about their southward migration. By late October, the weather has turned quite chilly. We're relieved to see that the swans are still here. As long as Dalinor Lake has open water and food to be found, they're reluctant to leave. The swans tuck their heads deeply into their feathers and wrap their bodies with their broad wings to retain heat. But as the lake surface freezes more rapidly, the ice spreads from the shallow areas to the deeper ones, gradually shrinking the swan space. Finally, the reluctant swans take flight and depart. The once lively lake now lies empty, with no sign of life remaining. Sunlight pierces through the forest, tracing the passage of time on the snow-covered ground. A cold front from Siberia sweeps across the Arshihady granite forest. At the summit of Qingshan, the Asian white birch and Chinese red pine once again transform into uniquely shaped ice sculptures. The pothole accumulates autumn rain in the form of ice, patiently waiting for the arrival of spring. As the relentless cold front continues, the ice on Dalinor Lake thickens steadily. Once the ice is strong enough to support heavy machinery, the winter fishing season begins on the lake. The fishermen cut a hole in the ice. The team leader takes the lead in performing a ritual at the ice hole, offering sacrifices to the lake god, bowing 3 times and kowtowing 9 times, expressing their deep respect for the lake. With temperatures on the ice hovering around -20 degrees Celsius, the hole could freeze over at any moment, so the team works quickly, pushing the large net into the water with united efforts. Using poles, they maneuver the net underwater, guiding it forward under the ice. The poles spread the net's wings, creating a massive net about 800 meters long and wide. As the net is slowly pulled up from beneath the ice, it's clear that each mesh has large gaps, allowing smaller fish to escape through these openings. The people of Dalinor Lake have long practiced sustainable fishing methods and never aimed to catch everything in one go. While humans harvest abundant fish, the Amurite population continues to thrive. Perhaps the perfect balance between nature and human needs. A steam locomotive, long vanished elsewhere, traverses these mountains. It has been introduced here as a tourism initiative. This initiative reflects a new hope to reevaluate our actions through the lens of ecological civilization. After billions of years of natural evolution, Hexington has become more than just a colorful geological park in northern China. It is also a thriving wild kingdom. Hidden within this seemingly ordinary world are many natural wonders and life miracles of global significance. Treasures that are among the most valuable and cherished on both a national and global scale. Fortunately, all of this is right here within our reach. and the warmth of the yurt, and Huz family welcomes a new member. His name is Ba'in Namur. In Mongolian, Ba'in means abundant, and Namur means autumn. The family hopes his future will be as abundant as the autumn grasslands. The essence of life lies in its continuation. For the sake of our descendants, what choices should we make? An ancient Mongolian song may offer the best answer. Care for the stream that gives you water, the air that lets you breathe, and the land that nourishes you. Respect life, for you are life itself.